Today, we embark on a spiritual journey to explore one of the most profound and inspirational teachings in history, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. This sermon, delivered over 2,000 years ago, continues to resonate with millions worldwide, offering timeless wisdom and guidance. Join us as we delve into the heart of Jesus' teachings, uncover the deeper meanings behind his words, and find practical ways to apply these lessons to our lives today. The Sermon on the Mount is found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 5 to 7. Imagine a diverse crowd gathered on a gentle hillside, listening intently as Jesus speaks. His words are powerful, revolutionary, and full of hope. Now, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. Jesus begins with the Beatitudes, a series of blessings that set the tone for his entire message. Let's start with the Beatitudes, which are essentially Jesus' declarations of blessedness. Each Beatitude begins with the word blessed, signifying a state of spiritual well-being and joy. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Here, Jesus emphasizes the importance of humility and recognizing our need for God. It's a call to spiritual poverty, acknowledging our dependence on divine grace. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. This beatitude offers hope and consolation, assuring us that God sees our sorrows and promises comfort. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Meekness is not weakness, but strength under control. Jesus encourages gentleness and humility as pathways to true greatness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. This speaks to our deep longing for justice and moral integrity. Jesus assures us that such a desire will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Mercy is a central theme in Jesus' teachings. He calls us to show compassion and forgiveness to others. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Purity of heart involves sincerity and a single-minded focus on God. It's about inner transformation. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Jesus honors those who actively seek peace and reconciliation in a world often filled with conflict. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Standing up for what is right, even in the face of opposition, is a mark of true discipleship. After the Beatitudes, Jesus uses two powerful metaphors, salt and light. He calls his followers to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Salt in ancient times was valuable for its preserving and flavoring properties. By saying, "You are the salt of the earth," Jesus is urging us to preserve goodness and add flavor to life through our actions. Similarly, "You are the light of the world" reminds us to shine brightly in a world often overshadowed by darkness. Our good deeds should reflect God's love and draw others to him. Jesus then speaks about the fulfillment of the law. He makes it clear that he did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. His teachings elevate the moral and ethical standards set by the law. Jesus emphasizes that true righteousness surpasses mere external compliance. It involves a deeper, heart-centered obedience. He challenges us to go beyond the letter of the law and embrace its spirit. Jesus addresses some of the most challenging aspects of human behavior: anger, lust, and divorce. His teachings are radical and call for a transformation of the heart. "You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'You shall not murder.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment." Jesus equates unjust anger with murder, highlighting the importance of reconciliation. Regarding lust, Jesus teaches, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." This underscores the need for purity of thought and intention. On divorce, Jesus emphasizes the sanctity of marriage, allowing divorce only on grounds of marital unfaithfulness. His teachings call us to uphold the covenant of marriage with utmost seriousness. One of the most revolutionary aspects of Jesus' teachings is his command to love our enemies. This goes against our natural instincts but embodies the essence of Christian love. "You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven." By loving our enemies, we reflect God's unconditional love and break the cycle of hatred and retaliation. This radical love has the power to transform hearts and societies. Jesus also provides guidance on 3 core practices: giving, prayer, and fasting. He emphasizes the importance of sincerity and humility in all these actions. In giving, Jesus advises, "When you give to the needy, do not announce it with a trumpet, but when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret." In prayer, Jesus offers the Lord's Prayer as a model, teaching us to approach God with reverence, simplicity, and trust. Regarding fasting, Jesus instructs, "When you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, but when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting." Jesus then shifts our focus to the pursuit of true wealth. He encourages us to store up treasures in heaven rather than on earth. "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal." Our earthly possessions are temporary, but the treasures we accumulate through acts of love, kindness, and faithfulness have eternal value. In a world full of anxiety and uncertainty, Jesus' words bring comfort and assurance. He invites us to trust in God's provision and not be consumed by worry. "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them." Jesus reminds us that God knows our needs and cares for us. By seeking first His kingdom and righteousness, we can live with confidence and peace. Jesus also addresses the issue of judgment. He cautions against hypocrisy and self-righteousness, urging us to examine our own hearts first. "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." Jesus calls us to approach others with humility, compassion, and understanding. By focusing on our own growth and extending grace to others, we foster a spirit of unity and love. Encouraging persistence in prayer, Jesus assures us that God is attentive to our needs and desires. "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened." God is generous and responsive to those who earnestly seek Him. This promise inspires us to approach God with confidence and perseverance. One of the most universally recognized teachings of Jesus is the Golden Rule. "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you." This simple yet profound principle forms the foundation of ethical and moral behavior. It calls us to empathy, respect, and active kindness in our interactions with others. Jesus concludes his sermon with a call to decision. He presents the choice between 2 gates, one narrow and one wide. "Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." The narrow gate represents the challenging but rewarding path of following Jesus. It requires commitment, sacrifice, and a steadfast focus on God's will. Jesus warns against false prophets who lead people astray. He urges us to discern their true nature by their actions and the fruits they produce. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. True followers of Jesus demonstrate their faith through love, integrity, and righteousness. We must remain vigilant and grounded in truth to avoid deception. Jesus ends his sermon with a powerful parable about the wise and foolish builders, illustrating the importance of putting his teachings into practice. "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand." Our lives are like houses built on foundations. By building on the solid foundation of Jesus' teachings, we can withstand the storms of life and stand firm in our faith. The Sermon on the Mount is a masterpiece of spiritual wisdom, offering guidance for living a life of faith, integrity, and love. Its teachings are as relevant today as they were over 2,000 years ago. By embracing these principles and incorporating them into our daily lives, we can experience true fulfillment and contribute to a world marked by compassion, justice, and peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Sermon on the Mount. May these teachings inspire and uplift you in your spiritual walk. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to